10 rounds grouping in your own time. Go on.
In Afghanistan, this is the latest weapon in the fight against homegrown terrorists. Not the Smith & Wesson sidearm, but the person aiming it. Female police officers are now being used to hunt down those who use explosives to spread death and destruction amongst their own people. Under the Afghan culture, male officers are forbidden from searching women, and the Taliban exploit this. Now the Afghan National Police are actively recruiting such women to the front line in the fight against terrorism. He told me the Taliban is afraid of female police officers because if they have a lot of women in the police force, it means they can search the Taliban everywhere. After being trained, and for the first time in history, female police officers in Afghanistan now have the power to stop and search, and where necessary, capture to protect life. Over the past 2 years here in Afghanistan, the Taliban has successfully used women to conceal explosives under their burqas. Many of those, together with male suicide bombers dressed as women, have detonated their bombs in public places, having passed checkpoints without being searched by male officers.
There is obviously the culture here where men can't search women, men can't go into rooms where women are, so women are essential because they can go places that men can't go. For example, if known Taliban runs into a compound that's full of women, then the women ANP can follow him in and go in and search him and arrest him.
At Bost Airport on the outskirts of Lashkargah, Nagara doesn't allow anyone, male or female, onto an aircraft until she is content that nothing of any danger is being taken aboard. Even those in uniform are searched. But this is the new Afghanistan, where women play a greater role in society. Nevertheless, being a female police officer in this country is not easy. She told me when they stopped a car at a checkpoint, a woman passenger acted suspiciously. When Nagara began to search her, the woman started struggling and bit her badly when she discovered the woman had a bundle of explosives strapped to her beneath her burqa. She also found 2 grenades and an AK-47.
If they do that, rounds will go straight.
Although these ANP officers are still being mentored by MOD police and the British Army, there is evidence that the Taliban is already finding it more difficult to use women to terrorise the population. It seems the feminine touch is becoming useful.
Right, so first things first, we'll have all the people working in the bazaar just dress over at the left-hand side, your right, just make your way over there now.
We're very much starting with a fledgling police force. You know, the Helmand Police Training Centre has been open a year, and it's important to recognise that the training we're doing is a fledgling force. There's a long way to go, but it's moving quickly. And I always say that the ANA, the Afghan National Army, are sort of 2 years ahead in capability. It won't take the Afghan National Police 2 years to catch up. Some of these guys have been serving the police for up to 20 years. They've just not had any training. So we're getting a sort of combination of serving policemen, some new recruits straight from their villages, and they're interesting subjects because they want to be policemen, but they don't really know anything about Helmand, let alone Afghanistan. So part of the training is cultural training, so they can understand their part in the big game. Military training, to get them to be able to fight small bands of insurgents if required, policing training, rule of law, understanding core policing skills, and then there's sort of the cultural and literacy training as well. It's the elders, the leaders of the families, the head of families that are providing their young men to join the Afghan National Police. And it's through that sort of key leader engagement that our own soldiers are doing to encourage this perception that the ANP are developing and make sure that they do see it as developing. And you're starting to see key leaders and elders coming to the police chief and saying, I want a police chief in my area or in my district. I want police. We need them to interact with the local population. So I think it is going the right direction, and we're starting to see the local nationals have more respect for the police. If we can get this police force able to stand on its own 2 feet, sustain itself, train itself, and work with the local nationals, be there for their security, we've succeeded. And we're going somewhere to that now. There are some very exciting prospects around our own AO and the wider Helmand where it's working.